Hi there, welcome to Related Opposition. I am Keith.
And I'm Kirsten.
We are siblings raised in a conservative household where I kind of veered away from that, very much more liberalish, and we have, I think, healthy conversations where we can discuss our differing points of view and stuff like that. And it's more about trying to understand each other, where we're coming from, rather than debate and win an argument and stuff like that. And so we decided to do this thing to share it on, if anybody could get anything out of it and whatever. That's kind of why we're doing this.
Yeah, as an example,
Yeah.
perhaps.
This is the fourth video, or the fourth video of a second set of 4 videos that we're trying with this now. The first 4, we shared them, and a criticism we got was to be better planned out, and instead we're going very not planned out, to the point that this topic is, we decided to try.
I'm calling it a wild card.
Yeah, we're each going to ask each other a question, so she doesn't know. Kirsten doesn't know what I'm going to be asking her, and I don't know what she's going to be asking me.
Whereas our other topics, we at least knew the topic.
We at least know the topic, so we could at least
before we met
kind of have at least a beginning concept of what we're going to say or something like that. And so I'm going to ask the question first.
Alrighty.
Mine requires a slight intro, just to for audience to get whatever. But the biggest thing that divided me from the family was when I came out as gay, and it was just, conservative family, Christian, religious, whatever. That's wrong. That's bad. We don't need to get into the details of that. But the thing about it was, I questioned everything that I had been raised with, the beliefs that I've been raised with, because one of the things that changed my mind about it was when we'd learn about homosexuality in church and stuff like that, they would assert information at me, which at the time they didn't know they were talking about me. But as I was listening to it, I'm like going, they're wrong. Everything what you're saying about me is wrong. Maybe not every time, but often. And so that's what set me on a journey of questioning everything that I was raised with and stuff like that. And so I am curious if you have ever had anything significant that you've changed your mind about. And I will open it up to saying it doesn't have to be religious, but preferably religious. But if you want to go back to politics or something like that, or even just a personal thing where you had a significant change from what you thought and changed your mind about, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think so.
And this could be cut really short. The answer could be
kind of hard because it's like I didn't prepare, so it's
right.
Like, I'm thinking back and I'm trying to do it quick so you're not bored. And
for what it's worth, to help fill that little gap of time and give you some time to think about it. Also, this could be cut really short. With the answer could be no. I mean,
yeah. I think we're.
Because obviously you can do like the, well, I like vegetables now because I didn't like them as a kid or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For me, it's
some things I maybe changed where I've gotten stronger in my position.
And that's a perfectly, like, you don't have to be like, I know I disagree with it now, or now I think more hardcore. It can go any way.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of options as far as.
So I'll just be very vulnerable and upfront about something that I don't even know. Okay, so this is an interesting thing for us to be doing, but yeah. So, and it ties in with you though.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're like cut, you say cut.
Okay.
Cut.
Okay.
So while our last video was on salvation,
mm-hmm.
and it came up from my friends that they were curious because they were wondering what you really believe. And Roger won't mind me saying this, but Roger and I kind of have differed. And
her husband.
Oh, Roger. Sorry. Thank you. I I fear for you sometimes
Mhm.
because I'm not saying like, oh, you're gay, so you're going to hell. It's not that.
Mhm.
It's more what do you believe? Do you trust Jesus? I feel like you've drifted so far from
I said I did.
from so many things. Not even it's. I feel like we got Jesus there, but everything else has been drifting
Mhm.
further. And if you have Jesus, I don't see how that can be. And so I'm like, oh Lord, please, I don't want him to go to hell. Like so out of love,
Yeah.
like, and Roger's like, he believes in Jesus. He trusts for his salvation. That's all you need. And I believe that. That is all you need. So he's like, he's saved. He's gone.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm like, yeah, but, and so then
You're going through what I was going through with the last question, with the last topic. That's what I was trying. That's what I was
yeah,
actually sort of what I was
well,
trying to say.
so,
Keep going. Sorry.
so I heard this, I'm going to this class on parables, and the guy was talking about the parable of the sower. Do you know it?
The sower
The guy that puts the seed down, and the first seed
in the
doesn't
solid
take.
ground and sand and different in the different.
One's in the rocks, and one's in the thorns, and
Yep.
one's on the top,
Yes.
and then
I didn't
one's
know it
in
by that name, but
yeah,
yes, I
and
know it.
one's in good soil.
Yes.
And I've always been so the first one is clearly never germinated,
Yeah.
never
It hits.
it gets taken
It's solid
away.
rock. It just like it gets blown away or something.
It gets I think it's in the explanation, Satan just takes it away. It doesn't even sink into
Uh-huh.
the nothing happens. It just is on top and it gets gone.
Mhm.
And then the other two in the middle sound like there's like a plant starts to take it starts to grow a little bit.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of something happening, but then the rocks it can't grow on the rocks and then the other one the thorns get tangled up in it and squelches it and then the fourth one it lands on good soil. So it's always been the question in the Christian like, well, are the two middle seeds Christians? Are they saved or are they not? But this teacher presented as they they germinated, they something happened, like
Mhm.
so he believes those are examples of saved, but and it does describe the uh Jesus goes further in another verse describing what this all means, and it says like the thorns are the cares of this world and they kind of squelch you. So and whereas the good soil is kind of maybe you're living out the life God had called you to, whereas the other ones they believe and entrust their salvation in Jesus, but they're not living maybe how he would like them to, and they're letting the cares of this world consume them rather than trusting Jesus, but they're saved.
Mhm.
So it made me rethink like am I because it always warns about not add to salvation, and I would always say I don't add to salvation. Like you need to believe in Jesus and that he's God and raised from the dead and you trust him for your salvation, you're saved. Nothing else. You can't do anything other than accept this gift.
Mhm.
And yet was I adding to salvation for you? Because I'm like, but I'm not seeing this or I'm not seeing that. And so I felt convicted and I felt like Lord, I'm sorry. Like and that's why I was kind of myself curious about the salvation topic because I'm like, what's he gonna say? Well, flat out
Mhm.
about Jesus. And I still don't quite know because I felt it was a little bit all
It
over
was a
the
little
place.
wonky.
But it was a change that's happened kind of recently that I do think no, you can't add for salvation. If you trust if you trust in Jesus, you are saved. And so there,
Okay.
it's a short-ish answer,
Mhm.
but unless you have more questions about it, or I don't know, or is that
No,
too? Do you
no,
want to?
because I did have a follow up, which was and what like if there's a cause to the change, what caused it? But that sounds like that was in the answer
Okay,
and stuff like that. And so
all right.
yeah,
This one's so short. I feel.
no.
Yeah,
I thought it was. I mean,
I don't know.
I
Is that what you were thinking,
yeah. No, well, no.
or what you were? I guess you
There
weren't expecting
there was
anything.
no that I actually felt really good about the question because I was like, well, this just gives her the room to kind of
Yeah.
if there was something that you didn't want to talk about, you didn't have to talk about. You're like, oh, I'll choose the next level down, or
Sure.
and stuff like that. And so, but it is because like I will say, um, from my perspective, uh, you with the rest of the family just kind of always just did stay the same, and so, and I'm not trying to imply um, betterment or whatever. Like, well, I actually thought mine through. Like, I don't mean to imply that, but every once in a while, it does. It feels like I go like I hope I remembered when I was just going along with the fold, and so I just wanted to hear the thought process and hear and whatever, because I do believe that you think your things through and your positions through, that
You don't get the impression
you're not just following the flock
Okay.
and whatever. But at the same time, it's like it would be nice to hear it because a lot of your positions really haven't changed, and
Sure.
so and so it was just kind of and like I do still say, like, even if I'm wrong about homosexuality, I'm so glad that I've gone through it, because I do feel like it challenged me and it forced me to think, because before that I was just accepting. I wasn't questioning, and so and then and so like now, like when I struggle with, I hear the parables of the sand and the whatever, and I go like, oh, the Christians will hear that, and I go, it's so convenient to be the ones the ones that are in the soil, though. It's like, are you sure you're the ones that are in the soil? It's like that's the the thing I struggle with Christianity,
Sure.
if that makes sense, because it's easy from your perspective to say, well, my seed took root, and it's doing just fine, and I'm like going, or is it?
Yeah.
Is it possibly just, I don't know.
There is a verse about that. I think I wrote it down, but I didn't look it up, so I don't have it handy to read quick. About
I'm just
examining, examining, are you really right with God or not right with God? Like in your walk.
A friend of mine, we had a conversation about this once, where basically what I'm been going through and what I am going through is what I think is commonly called deconstructing.
But
and some
many who do kind of go away from the faith.
No, deconstructing your faith just means breaking down what you were raised with, and you get to it. You do get to a different point. Some people realize that they had no faith, and whatever, and some people come to a different understanding of their faith and stuff like that. I think that's where, whatever. I don't know what point I am on the thing, but the conversation was, we were questioning, like I was questioning my faith and stuff like that, and I just go like, I know that everybody looks at me. Everybody from the family looks at me and says, like, oh, he's fallen away, he's backsliding, he's whatever, and she just assured me, like, going, you're thinking this through.
Yeah.
And to this day now, the position I take on it is, I am loving God with all. Say, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. This is me loving God with my mind right now. I need to process it through, and I need to understand it, and agree with it. And if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. With your thing, was that your question too in there? You said that it ties in with. Was your answer also asking me your question, or do you have a question too?
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I think I was saying that when my friends were saying we should talk about salvation, because I think they were a little confused where you stood.
Yep.
And I realized, I think I'm confused where you stand too.
And it's totally legit.
So I actually kind of wanted to hear not only my friends, but I should have said, I also want to hear your answer. Sure. And that's why the topic of salvation was discussed.
Okay. So with that said, you do have a question then?
I do have a question.
Okay.
Which I stated to Keith that we can cut if it's too personal. Because he would be fine me asking one-on-one, I'm sure, but I also don't. This is going to be broadcast. I just want the audience to know.
So if all of a sudden it stops, that's why.
I asked too personal of a question.
She's worried about it. I'm not as worried about it, but I'm really curious.
All right, so I gotta set it up a little bit too.
Yep.
So my brother is gay, which and he's an artist. And you were telling me about a photo of or a painting you did on
Oh.
Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
That went kind of not viral
It
per
did,
se,
no,
but it did go viral.
it technically went
it's viral.
viral.
And I was, of course, I'm excited for you because you're my brother, and I want, yeah, you know. But I also knew the topic
Yeah.
was about, and I don't know if I'm going to describe all this well, so pitch in if ever, because I also feel awkward talking about it because it's just
The
not.
bears.
Yeah. So there's a thing with gays that you're attracted to a certain body type.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And it's referred to as bear.
They're called bears. Yes.
And so I haven't always wanted to look at your art because I just don't
Yeah, I get it.
want to per se see
that.
But your Instagram thing, I'm like, so I went on to your Instagram to look at it, and my reaction is not probably what you would have.
I didn't
whatever.
expect. Yeah, well, it's what I'd expect, but
And it kind of like caught me off guard, and because it ties into all our stuff that we've been talking about, and but the question that kind of not nagged at me, but I'm like, and I could be, it just could be me, but well, this is separate from one of them, but it was like, wow, this just feels like gay porn. Like, is this?
You think it's porn?
It seems like it's intended to
It's okay.
titillate a certain type, and I'm like, so then I go, and you believe in Jesus, you know? So I'm like, how do you rectify? And I could be off because I'm not.
No, I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying. This is
my question. I don't understand how you can draw that, and I don't. It just seems opposing, and that's my question, I guess. Is it a question? Do you know what I'm asking?
I think I know what you're asking, and I understand it. I used to go out of my way to hide that kind of art from the family and stuff like. I mean, like, I haven't been doing it long. The bear art I've been focusing on for the last couple of years to try, just because what I was just in my efforts to make art a career. I started looking at all the stuff I was doing, and I had done a couple bear pieces just kind of for fun, just for me. And I'd shared them online and stuff like that, and I'm part of bear communities and stuff like that, and they were all very well received and stuff like that, and that's why I started kind of focusing on it, was just to kind of create like this, just a niche audience where I could be a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
I can totally understand how a conservative Christian would look at my stuff and think porn. I don't see porn. I do acknowledge that there's a certain level of playful eroticism, but like, I don't think any sex is being depicted. I don't see arousal or or explicit. I don't think any of my stuff is explicit in the way that I think porn, what I would classify to be porn as.
And I wouldn't say every picture. It was like,
well, there are some because there's nudity in some. But that's like that's my thing with, like, I think within conservative Christians, you'll have some that'll look at just art and just go porn because there's a boob in it, and it's like, calm down. And this is just me as an artist, where I just go, I don't see it as, I just don't see it as porn. I think, I'm trying to figure out a way to summarize and stuff like that. I understand how you would see that and whatever. And like I said, there was a chunk of time where, even as I was doing it, I was trying to keep that stuff concealed and stuff like that. But there was a point where I just kind of said, I'm just done caring what other people think about me, and I'm going to start sharing this stuff. And so I share it. It's on my Facebook too and stuff like that. And it's just,
I'm not.
I know you're not an online
just for
person.
The audience, I'm not on any of all that stuff. I actually created a fake account to have the Instagram thing because I don't use Instagram, but I was curious. So.
Well, Instagram, you should be able to still access it.
Oh,
it's a matter of if it's a public account or a private account.
Gotcha.
My Bear Art is a public account because I'm trying to promote my art.
Right. Okay.
And so
I found it somehow, but
yeah, because like I have a personal Instagram account that's private. You wouldn't be able to hunt. You wouldn't be able
Oh.
to find that.
gotcha.
Whatever.
Yes.
And so
So
I don't
you
know if
don't feel,
I don't feel what I've done
more.
is
and so you don't have any
porno-
confliction within your
I don't feel any
with your faith
with my
and
faith.
your.
I don't feel that. And for what it's worth, I feel Christians, conservative Christians, for all the times that they point at other people and say, "Sex is bad. You're doing naughty things. You're being like," especially as a gay person, I've been pointed at and told I'm going to hell for my sexuality and stuff like that. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning, where I just said they were telling me that all my motivation was for sex. And I'm like, well, this is really not true. It's I am concerned about a lot more about my life that my sexuality does still affect and whatnot. I feel Christians are actually the ones that are who are sitting there trying to like get worked up about the sex more than anything else. And I feel like to the point that like I remember once saying to Dad, I was talking about how the way I was raised and how I was raised to think that sex was bad. And he's like, we never taught you that sex was bad. And I'm like, yes, you did. Not you individually, but you partially as my parents, the church, and culture around me. Sex was naughty. Uh, sex is it was a. I was never taught it to be uh, the good thing that it can be, and I don't mind admitting what I'm attracted to and what people. It's okay to say that you like this and you think it's attractive and stuff like that. I remember one time, mom talking about, or mom wasn't talking about it, but we were talking about mom and dad falling in love, and whatever, and there was this and that, and then I think you made the joke, and you liked uh, his furry chest, and you made
I
a
said
joke
that?
about that because you knew mom liked his furry chest.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You made
Sure, but go on.
you made the joke, and there was like ah, ha, 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 ha. And I remember just kind of leaning back, going like, and yet when that's part of bears, they have furry chests. I like furry chests too. Why is it shameful for me to say that I like that? But we can go ha 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 ha. It's okay with it. It was whatever, and so I just go. That is part of where the series came from, was embracing this thing that I was feeling shamed about. I mean, that's what the whole pride movement is. Everybody always likes to argue about pride is the uh, uh, is a sin and it's a pathway to whatever, and we're not supposed to celebrate this. And I'm like going, nobody understands that pride is just about not feeling shame anymore, and that's so. Yeah, that's my basic answer. I can answer if you have follow ups or clarity questions.
No,
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have to be long.
No.
So, I don't know. I
All
think
right.
we're done.
I think we're done. All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought it was fun.
I thought it was kind of. I really had no clue what you're going to ask.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I find it interesting that you. I actually want to ask this question. Now that I think about it, before we close.
Okay.
So you were worried. What were you worried that I was going to? You were like, I don't have to answer this publicly. What were you thinking I would be afraid of?
That you're drawing porn and you're you're a Christian, and how do you
thought it, but like you were like, what were you afraid that I would? Well,
maybe you don't want that out there publicly.
Huh. Okay, interesting. I was just because it was out there publicly, and so I'm like going like, why would I be afraid of that?
Yeah, but talking about, I don't know. Guess I'm seeing it through my lens because
that's what I find interesting. That's why I'm asking. I was like going like it's like, interesting to me.
You because the verse says to go to your brother if you see them in error to hopefully
Mhm.
help them, like, but you go to them one-on-one, and I'm like, well, now I'm broadcasting it.
Oh,
So I'm like, was this even right of me to ask you this publicly?
it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me. And
So there we have it.
yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No, that's fine.
Whatever. I just found as I was thinking on it, going like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know if there's any value in asking
Sure.
that. So.
And I guess as long as we on that, and I didn't look. I just looked kind of briefly, and I don't. There was something about that classical picture where God's touching Adam's
Yeah.
finger, and I think you drew. I couldn't look at it long, so
I think that's so
but
funny.
it felt so like I was taken aback by that too. Any comments? Sorry.
Like what kind of comment?
Well, was it two gay men that you were?
No. One was an actual bear. Because
Oh yeah, but it's
'cause
God. Like, why are you replacing?
I wasn't replacing God. Okay, this is art.
I know, but even so, that felt
So wait, in the original painting, that was that artist's depiction of God.
right.
So that's
it's
what
not God.
Yeah,
yes.
but
the
that
painting that you're copying
Yep.
is portraying God through that artist's eyes, and you're replacing it with the bear.
yes.
What was your
The purpose of the
the
painting.
purpose of the painting? Thank you. That would be good.
I'm gonna describe this. I'm doing a series, so we talk about these bears. It is a certain body type of guys within the gay community. They're bigger, tubbier, usually bearded, and part of the bear movement started out of like when you think of the gay stereotype, you think of these. I think most people think of fit, tight, skinny little wispy men and whatever, and the bear community came out of people that uh, just didn't feel like they fit in, and I think this happens just within society in general. When you're heavier and stuff like that, you're just kind of ostracized, and so the bear movement just kind of started as this place of acceptance of like we don't care what you look like, and then we celebrate this being like this and whatever. And for me, for what it's worth, on a little side point, like it was part of coming out for me because for a long time, like I always knew I could always feel I was gay, but then every time I would look at what I was supposed to look at as being an attractive man, I looked at Sports Illustrated would have some muscle bound guy on it or whatever, and I'd be like, I don't know, that just whatever. And then I found myself developing a crush on this truck driver at work at Johnson Anderson. And all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, and whatever. Anyway, so that's where the bear community came from. So now with this particular series of art that I'm doing a series called The Gay Bear Sees, and each of these paintings is going to go with there's going to be a poem that goes with it. A is for the animal, where bears get their name from their similar shape or from the fur on their face and their similar frame. That is where bears got their name, was from the animal bear. You look at a big, chubby, furry thing. That's where they got it. That's the point of the painting. It was using religious imagery, made in God's image. The bear is being bearified by the bear, and so
Fireworks
whatever.
are going off inside of me, Keith.
I don't understand why. See, that's where I go like.
See, that just feels like
blasphemous.
Not I don't know what the word is, but
I did another this other.
My discernment saying this is not God's will. So, but
I appreciate the warning.
I'm just being honest.
Oh no, I'm not hurt.
Sorry. Okay.
I don't be. I trust me. I know that the family wouldn't like.
I know
the bear stuff,
and I asked the question, but as you're describing it, it's just hard to. I'm trying to just sit here.
Let me tell a story. So I've done a number of these pieces now, and the other thing about it is with the theme within the art is I'm using iconic imagery. I'm using different paintings. So like the one that started this all that we talked about was I have a piece that was a Norman Rockwell piece.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
one that went viral. It was based on a Norman Rockwell painting, and so like each one's based, and they're not all art. What's funny is you can't see on the camera here, but the V-Day picture, that's going to be one of them.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I did one of the raising the raising the flag
Yeah, I saw
on.
that
Oh,
too.
you saw that one?
Yeah.
That one in a different forum, I got laid into from a lot of patriotic Christians. Hated that picture, and I was I got I got some nasty comments. But I just found it so interesting, and like going at like people were telling me that this picture, this original picture, is untouchable, and you're. I was being told I was going to hell for just even using it. I'm like going. I'm using. Do you understand? I'm using this to try to tell a story. With it's art, and that's where I find it interesting that the line people will draw, uh, where um, I get it. It's not for everybody, and so
Yeah. No.
whatever. But like it's I for what it's worth, I don't feel shame about it,
Yeah.
and
No, I
so
know.
and
I know you don't.
no, but
But
like also, but also I hope
yeah.
that I would hope a little bit. Just me even answering. My intention is not to be pornographic. I do admit there's a certain level of uh, again the playful eroticism is in there at times where that comes into play, but I don't think any worse than other things that would be fine if it was straight. You know what I mean? Like things that you wouldn't bat an eye at if it was straight. You're batting an eye at it because it's gay.
Maybe. I don't
And
know.
so
Maybe. But
you know,
yes.
yeah,
Okay. But this is why I don't like people chewing you out and saying you're going like
I
you know,
know.
like I don't approve of that
Yeah.
attitude, and that's where I go. They're fallen people who are sinning, and they're not. You know, like so.
Are they going to hell for it for doing that?
It all goes back to
But
Jesus, and do you trust in Him for salvation? Because I sin, I make you know, like I so. It's who do you trust in for salvation, and what did Jesus do, and do you have faith in Him? So it doesn't matter if you. I mean, Hitler before he committed suicide said, "I believe in you, Jesus, and I trust in you for salvation," and he'd be saved. You know, like so. It does. You could be the most evil person, and you know. So anyway,
now
now I think we're done.
all right.
Sorry.
Ready? Anyway, I am Keith,
I'm Kirsten.
and this was Related Opposition.